Thinking about moving to Big Sky, Montana? Maybe you've been to Big Sky on vacation and you're thinking about buying that dream vacation property so that when you come visit, you can have all of your stuff ready to go in your property and be able to enjoy that vacation without having to worry about where you're going to stay, or perhaps even rent that property out to other vacationers when you're not using it. Or maybe you've just heard about Big Sky, the amazing skiing and bucket list type descents, and the new tram due to open this coming winter 23-24. Well, in this video, I'm going to go into the details on why you might not want to move to Big Sky, Montana, or buy that vacation home after all. So let's dive into the top 11 reasons why not and why some folks are actually leaving. We find that some folks are looking to Big Sky because it is a smaller town and it's not quite as busy or bustling, or, the slopes aren't quite as busy as some of the, comparable towns in Colorado or Utah. And really the skiing, without a doubt, is some of the best in the Western United States, has often been compared to European ski areas, and often with significantly shorter lift lines. Big Sky has experienced some pretty significant attention and growth over the last few years. With the resort joining the Icon Pass system, there have been more people discovering Big Sky than ever before. I do have additional videos on Big Sky as well if you're curious to learn a little bit more. For instance, I did a full vlog tour. I've got a map tour, actually 2 map tours, one showing you around the area as a whole, another one kind of dividing the area up and showing you the different neighborhoods and areas that way, as well as a video all about the pros and cons of living in Big Sky. My name is Hallie with Life in Bozeman, Montana, a channel all about living in, around, and near Bozeman, all over Southwest Montana, including Big Sky. So as I said, today I'm going to be going over all of those things that you'll want to consider. It's so important to know what it means to live here year-round, or even to own a vacation home. So stick with me till the end. Now, before we get started, something that can be a little bit confusing to some folks that I wanted to clarify is that there is a town of Big Sky and there is Big Sky Resort. They are not the same thing. The town of Big Sky is about an hour south of Bozeman, Montana, off of Highway 191. When you turn off of that highway there, you're going to find yourself in the town center in the Meadow Village. That's where Big Sky Golf Course is. And then you'll head up a little bit further, higher elevation, about 7 miles away from the town of Big Sky is where you're going to find Big Sky Resort, right there at the base of Lone Peak. So they are in fact not one and the same. So item number 1 for why you may not want to buy property or live in Big Sky is the high cost of living. Big Sky is first and foremost a resort town. The area is based on tourism and thrives especially in the winter months with that ski area right there. In fact, there used to be multiple ski areas before Moonlight's terrain combined with Big Sky's, and of course there's the Yellowstone Club right there in Big Sky as well. Options are limited and the area is pretty isolated. So while you will find the basics like groceries and gas and a hardware store, you may find that those are going to be at prices that are higher than average. So if you're looking to keep a budget or stock up on some things, your best bet may be to head down to Bozeman and hit up the Costco there or some of the other grocery stores in the area. Rent prices are significant as well and often can be very hard to find. Many property owners in the area opt to, use their properties as a vacation rental or short-term rental as opposed to long-term. The Big Sky Community Housing Trust has been working very hard to provide affordable housing for the workforce locally, but it is nearly impossible to satisfy the demand in Big Sky. The high prices of real estate and low inventory means that those rentals are scarce. A quick search of rentals in the Big Sky area right now tells me very quickly that those rentals in Big Sky are going for well over $1,000 per month per bedroom, and there aren't very many. As far as purchasing property or homes, current listings range from fractional ownership on a condo or cabin all the way up to large multi-million-dollar custom luxury homes. Of the 143 currently active residential properties for sale in the Big Sky area, the median list price is $2.6 million. Now, the median sales price, meaning what the properties have sold for as of the end of September of 2023, was $1.79 million, which is actually down a little bit from the same time last year. So things are calming down just a little bit, but still quite a bit higher than just about anywhere else here in the Southwest Montana area, especially that is not a resort town, of course. Item number 2 on the list today is going to be the winter roads and traffic. The driving conditions around Big Sky are no joke. The canyon drive between Bozeman and Big Sky specifically is known to be treacherous. It's a windy 2-lane mountain highway that stretches along the Gallatin River for about 30 miles through Gallatin Canyon. With little to no shoulder and heavy commuter, tourist, and semi-traffic, as well as wildlife all over the area, it can be really tricky. And if you're traveling in winter, you can add, snowy or icy roads and low visibility if there's an active storm to that list as well. Thousands of workers make that drive from Bozeman to Big Sky every single day. But if you're living in or a property owner in Big Sky, it's something most people do their best to avoid. Now that's just talking about the Highway 191 stretch. That's not even touching on the spur road. So Highway 64 is what you turn off of Highway 191 and head into Big Sky and then head up the mountain. So that spur road really just connects the town of Big Sky to the resort itself. And traffic coming down that road, especially at the end of a busy ski day, can be a lot. Again, this is a 2-lane highway, and if you get somebody up ahead of you who is not comfortable with the roads, or maybe there's an elk herd crossing that highway, it can take way more time than you might expect that 7-mile drive to take. And then add road work or road construction to the mix, which typically happens in the summer or even the shoulder seasons of spring and fall. And you're looking at a long drive almost no matter the season. Number 3 on the list is the growth that has happened in the Big Sky area. According to the Big Sky Resort's 2025 plan, the goal is to transform the town of Big Sky into a world-class year-round mountain resort, and that plan is already well underway. Big Sky Town Center is a hub of construction activity, with future plans including a bowling alley, a nightclub, and so much more. But the construction doesn't stop there, with additional development happening with homes and resort-style amenities over on the north side of Lone Peak, in the Moonlight Basin area, as well as other areas of the mountain, including the Spanish Peaks Club to the south as well. And obviously not everyone loves all of the growth and the attention that Big Sky is getting. It means higher priced properties as well as higher priced lift tickets. Number 4 on the list is jobs and employment opportunities. Jobs in Big Sky are limited to a few different industries, but primarily what you're looking at is tourism. Whether it's resort operations, hospitality, restaurants, or boutique shopping, it's all seasonal and it's all based on visitors. Another main industry, of course, is construction, whether it's home building or building up and developing the town and area itself. Certainly there may be other niche options if you're looking for a specific type of work, but it's not your average Montana town. So don't expect to find agriculture type jobs in the Big Sky area, for example. Number 5 on the list is the weather. Now I've touched a little bit on the roads, of course, but the weather in Big Sky is something to keep in mind year round. A snowstorm in June? Yep. Not entirely uncommon. Summer evenings hitting temperatures around or below 50 degrees. Also very possible, if not highly likely. This means it can be pretty difficult to actually have a garden if you wanted to own property and do some gardening in your home in Big Sky. The growing season or the warm season is shorter, and those nights do tend to get a little cooler than you might be used to. In winter, in the coldest month of January, the average low temperature is just 9 degrees. The average high in January is 30 degrees. And in summer, the average low temperature in July is 42 degrees and the average high is 80. Big Sky Resort receives an average snowfall every winter of 400 inches, and that is no small amount of snow. It usually starts up sometime in October, mid to late October, and doesn't let up until sometime in early to mid-April. Winter is most definitely the dominant season here in Southwest Montana, but especially in the higher elevations in the mountains in Big Sky. Now, some people in Big Sky live for it. They absolutely love it. That's what they're there for that winter, recreation and everything that Big Sky has to offer. For others, it can be really tough. Between those cold temperatures and the darkness that comes with those colder winter months, some people definitely struggle with it. Number 6 on the list is entertainment and shopping. Big Sky has seen plenty of recent improvements for entertainment in the area. The Montage in Big Sky Sky often does have live music as well as other venues around the resort or in town. There are some incredible dining opportunities and bars in the Big Sky area as a whole, though many of them would not be considered inexpensive. And there's not a large quantity of options either. And the majority of shopping options in the Big Sky area tend to be high-end boutique style stores. So a lot of the people who live in Big Sky do find themselves commuting down to Bozeman for that sort of thing, or of course resorting to online shopping. Of course, a lot of the things to do around Big Sky, no matter the season, are centered around generally being outdoors. So in the summertime, you're gonna see a lot of hiking and mountain biking, camping, whitewater rafting, rock climbing, and then of course in the winter, the skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, or maybe taking a tour with one of the incredible outfitters that does anything from a sleigh ride dinner to a dog sledding adventure. Most of what there is to do around Big Sky is outside. Now, I touched on this a little bit already, but number 7 is that Big Sky is a very rural, remote, or a little bit of an isolated community. The town of Big Sky tends to ebb and flow a little bit with the seasons, as fall and spring do tend to be pretty quiet as far as tourism goes, and the resort is shut down during those shoulder seasons. So while it can feel busy during those summer and winter months, most of that is due to tourism. And the town population itself is actually pretty small. The population of Big Sky is well over 3,000 residents now, but is still considered a fairly small town, even when compared to other towns in Montana. Looking for where to fly in or out of Big Sky? Bozeman is the closest large airport with both private and commercial options, but it's a solid 45-mile drive away from Big Sky, which can be as long as 90 minutes depending on the road conditions, weather, and traffic. And there's a large section of that drive that does not have any cell service through the canyon. There is a newer Bozeman Health facility right in Big Sky, which was a hugely welcome development in the past few years. And the nearest larger hospital with many more resources is also down in Bozeman on the east side of town. For major emergencies, there is a life flight option to get you down to that hospital in Bozeman. But that Big Sky branch of Bozeman Health is a great resource for so much. So as I mentioned, resources can be slim, it can be hard to find certain things, or you might find that prices are higher than average. And the nearest larger town of Bozeman is at least an hour away. Number 8 on the list is transportation. Being that it is a smaller town and more remote, transportation options can be limited. The Skyline bus is a great option for local public transportation, going around town as well as up the mountain, and there is a link route that stops in a few places in Bozeman and brings people up to Big Sky and back down to Bozeman. And Skyline has actually recently launched an on-demand rideshare option as well, so it'll be great to see that addition to the community. The other options are, of course, having your own vehicle, which most people in the area do, but there are a few other private car or shuttle services primarily that go between the airport and Big Sky for that sort of transportation, especially for visitors, but they're definitely going to cost you. Now, before we dive into the last few items here, as I said before, my name is Hallie. I'm a born and raised Bozemanite, helping people to move, relocate, and simply find their place here in Southwest Montana. From Bozeman to Big Sky, Three Forks, Ennis, Livingston, and everywhere in between. My email and phone number are right here, so you can feel free to reach out, get in touch. We can set up a one-on-one call, or you can visit the link in the description below as well to learn a little bit more or get in touch. I'm here to help you find the right place for you. I certainly wouldn't want you to end up in the wrong spot, so be sure to jot that information down and feel free to reach out. Number 9 on the list is wildlife. Now, I mentioned it before when we were talking about the drive through the canyon, which is most certainly a concern, but those wildlife aren't limited to the canyon or the roads or that area alone. They can also be encountered while skiing or on a hike, or even wandering around the plaza at the resort. From bears to deer to moose and elk and bighorn sheep, they are the primary residents in Big Sky. So it's always best to be aware of your surroundings no matter what you're doing or where you are. Also worth noting with wildlife, there's going to be certain restrictions and requirements for how you manage your trash and what kinds of garbage cans can be used and when they can be left outside, because black bears and other critters are crafty when it comes to wanting and getting into what we throw away. Number 10 on the list is all about managing a vacation home. So if you're one of the folks who might want to buy a vacation home, You want to be able to come to the resort, visit, have all your stuff in one place so that you've got a place to land when you come for your vacation and then rent that out to other vacationers while you're not here. There are definitely some elements to consider. You'll have to find somebody to manage that rental property for you. There are a variety of options, and the resort itself is one of them. So they will manage that property for you and rent it out, as well as some other smaller property management companies too. But you will be paying a premium, especially if the resort is doing that property management for you. There are other perks for your guests that come along with having Big Sky Resort manage it for you, but their fees do tend to be higher than the other options. Typically between 30 and 50% of that rental income is going to be shared with any property manager in the area. Not only that, but the maintenance required, especially in winter, is not insignificant, particularly with snow removal. If you're not there, someone will need to regularly come by and clear your sidewalks, your driveway, and even your roof at times when there are larger storms that come through the area. To keep your property from being isolated from your guests, as well as prevent damage that could occur if you leave a lot of heavy snow on your roof for too long. Final item on the list, number 11, is the altitude. The altitude in Big Sky is no joke. For those who live or work in Big Sky, it often means being in great shape because they're able to sustain being active at that high altitude. The lower oxygen atmosphere can be really difficult for those who aren't used to it though. From dehydration and headaches to difficulties breathing and heart problems, it's worth knowing that Big Sky Town Center is at about 7,200 feet in elevation, and the resort base area is at about 7,500 feet. And of course, Lone Peak, the highest mountain in the area with that tram access and black diamond skiing, is at a whopping 11,166 feet in elevation. All in all, Big Sky is no longer a secret, and for those moving here or for those who have lived here a long time, it has gotten expensive. It's a small mountain town with big skiing, big views, and a lot of big ideas. There are certainly some growing pains, and a lot of people are missing that small town, quieter town feel it once had. But it is still such a special place surrounded by mountains, this little valley at the base of Lone Peak that towers above. And there are quite a few people who have lived in Big Sky for a very long time who still absolutely love it. And with that, of course, I've got plenty of other videos, as I mentioned, on Big Sky, as well as several other communities all over Southwest Montana. So if you're curious, be sure to check those out. And feel free to get in touch. I'd be honored to help you find your place here. And if you haven't subscribed, I've got a new video coming out every single week, so you can find the area that you might want to move to or buy that dream vacation home in. So if you want the best videos about Big Sky and all of those other small towns all over Southwest Montana, subscribe. Now, if you want to watch more right now, this is a playlist loaded with all of the best videos all about Big Sky, Montana. In fact, there's information on everything from the town center in Big Sky up to the resort and around the north side of the mountain near Moonlight Basin. It's all in there. And until next time, I hope to show you around.